everybody, Carrie Scroggins from down in Texas, and today we're continuing our video series for those people becoming an entrepreneur. Trying to share some advice and some help along the way to make your transition and your decisions a little easier and so you are more informed. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is specifically for the new business owners and starting a business is your communications. What you use in your daily operations, a cell phone or a fax line or a landline or a VoIP, just what I have experienced myself as a new business owner and then as a business owner 10 years into my companies, what I feel works the best at this point. What works for me, obviously. It may not work for you, but I think a combination potentially could work for just about anybody based upon the technologies that we have today, post-COVID. So what do I use? Well, my business, all of my businesses are remote type businesses where I do have a brick and mortar office, but it's not in a retail location, so I don't get foot traffic in because most people don't need to go to an insurance agent's office any longer. Most people do everything online, so my other two businesses are completely online. So for me, the best setup is to have a cell phone, obviously, for my day-to-day operations, personally and professionally. I do a lot on my cell phone personally, pay my bills, that sort of thing. I also do a lot of that with my business using my cell phone too. A lot of my security measures are set up for a secondary authorization code, which is run through my cell phone. So for me, a combination of a VoIP, voice over internet, works really well, and I have a cell phone. And the reason I do that is my insurance agency, for compliance and for contractual obligations, needs to have a primary line. It's a VoIP. It runs over my internet. The drawback to those type of phone lines are when your internet goes down, your phone lines go down. But it's pretty rare that it completely goes down. Now, I will say here this year we've probably had more incidents of that just because the carriers are starting to come out into my geographic location. So there's been a couple of times where the cell towers and the internet towers have been disrupted, and so that then leads to disrupted service. But it's not, it's normally, it might happen maybe once, maybe twice a year. And for me, for my insurance agency, I do need a dedicated phone and phone system for my insurance agency, for my clients to call and leave me messages and that sort of thing. I do have a fax line. The fax line is not nearly used as much as it used to be, but there are some functions in the insurance business that dictate a fax line. So I do have a fax line as well, and that is run through my VoIP system that I have. And it's good to have too, because if something else goes down and you need some way to reach somebody, a fax is still a sort of a secondary support mechanism to internet, emails, text messages, and that sort of thing. I can do emailing and text messaging from my software on my phone for all of my businesses, so that's really good. I find that the majority of my business for all three of my companies is done either through social media or through emails, and so having a very good email system is, I think, crucial for any business to operate and have good effective customer service. You want an email system that is definitely safe and secure, and if it means you have to pay a little bit more for it, I would encourage you to do that. As somebody who's been through a security breach on 2 occasions, trust me, it is not something you want to go through. It is a huge headache. and it takes forever for it to resolve. And I would just encourage you to pay a little bit more for a stronger, more secure service than just a lot of these fly-by-night companies that are out there. I have been with one company, the largest communication company, and I think we all know who that is. I'm not going to name them, but I will tell you it starts with an A. And I've been with them since I opened. And for me to move that service now at this point is really kind of complicated, because not only do I have all of my personal information, all of my personal devices, internet, home, and all of that is with them, but all of my professional and business services are with them too. So I have this massive bundle of services, and so for me to try to switch all of that now, I just really don't know that I want to go through the headache. I could probably save a little bit of money, but saving the money is really not the point. I want a reputable company that I can depend on, that it's not going to go down, and that my systems are always going to be up and running. And so that's why I pay a little bit more for those things, and I think it is well worth it. I would encourage you to have a cell phone, and I would encourage you to use it for two things, personal and professional. You've just got to learn to kind of manage and operate those two entities separate and individual from each other using one phone. You can do it. You just need to be very, very concise as to how you're saving your information on your cell phone. Make sure that you've got all of that set up so you can save your documents and your messages and that sort of thing. That's why having an actual business line, I think, is worth the money for your business to have a separate phone number, a separate answering system, a fax number associated with it, so you can have that completely separate to your personal cell phone. I just think you run a better chance of keeping your information separate, and that's important, especially when it comes time to doing your taxes and knowing what you're paying for your business and what you're paying for your personal, so you know where to deduct that for your taxes. I do use a VoIP system. I do like it. I have the ability to record on it if I want to, which I do. Every phone call is recorded. That is for my purposes only. That is so I don't miss a phone call, and I can check the phone log against the voicemail to make sure that we're not missing any voicemails. I do record every message that comes in. Every phone call that comes in is recorded, but that's for my safety net, so we don't miss something. So if, for example, I get a request and I talk to somebody, and then for some reason that request isn't done, I can then track backward and hear the phone message and document what needed to be done that was either omitted or we made a mistake on. So that system is for me and for my peace of mind, and knowing that if we drop something, I have a way to go back and find it. So, and I think that's important, especially if you're in the financial services side of things. It may not necessarily be required for retail type things or services, hair salons, nail salons, that sort of thing. But I still think it's worth the money to invest, so you have a separate business and cell phone and keep them separated that way. I think it's important that you do that. I talked a little bit about this the other day. Having a very secure email server is so important to protect your business and protect your clients' information. Two of the most important things that you can do as a business owner, because if you have a breach in that, it could be a nightmare, and it could potentially lead to the closing of your business. So you want to make sure you are using a very secure, stable, and professional email system, whatever that may be. I will tell you that using the Googles and the Yahoos and all of that, that information is sold, and so I don't want my clients' information sold to anybody. So I pay for my email platform because I don't want all that information sold. So I'm paying more. I'm actually paying. Google and Yahoo and all that's free, but your information is also not protected. So I think it's vitally important as a business owner that you pay for a secure email service where all of the information collected is not sold. Okay? Trust me, your clients don't want to send you an email and say, oh, can you please add this 2023 Honda Civic, and send it in an email to you, and then your email sells that to a third party, and then they get bombarded with emails on refinancing their car or buying a new car because they've sent you an email. That is, I can guarantee you your clients do not want that, and so that's why it's really, really important for you to have a sound, separate email system that is on a very secure server that does not sell the information it gathers while you are working through the day. So that's really all for this, but it is an important part of making a decision as a business owner as to how you're going to set that up. I think, again, it's vitally important to separate your personal from your business, to have a cell phone that can handle messages that overflow, but I think you need a very dedicated, separate phone line and phone system to manage the day-to-day operations, so your clients can always leave you a message. Now, my clients can use my cell phone, but it's not my primary source of contacting me. It is the actual business line, and that is my preference, is that they use the business line and not my cell phone. However, I do want to be available to my clients, so that's why I make my cell phone a published number, but it is not my preference. Let's just make sure we get that out there. As always, I'm here to help you. If you're making the decision to become an entrepreneur, congratulations on that decision. It's a great decision. There's a lot that goes into it, and if I can help you in any way, that's what this series is all about, helping those decisions become a little easier for you with some experience and, just somebody who's lived through making all those experiences, lived through my mistakes, if you will. Not that I've made very many, but, these are important decisions, and it's nice to have a point of reference. I wish I had a point of reference when I did this. I didn't. And so that's what these videos are all about, is trying to put the information out there. If you're in the process of making this decision and you happen to see this video and it helps you along the way, then that's great, and I'm doing a service, and I appreciate it. So again, this is Carrie. I'm the entrepreneur from Texas. I own 3 companies, and I am here to help you become an entrepreneur. After all, being a small business owner is a privilege, and we are the backbone of this great country. We help employ more people, and that is what this country was founded on, our commerce, the small business owner, and it's a great privilege to be one. And if it can help you along the way, then I'm giving back, and that's what's important. So this is Carrie from Texas. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure you hit the bell so you know the next time I post a video. Join our community, if you will, like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Have a fantastic Monday afternoon in October. Take care.